Hey folks, this is Swadotech and you're watching Swaraj here. So you would be confused, right? The new tech startup environment has been leading us to choose TypeScript, but you would say like JavaScript is easy, it's simpler to use, you can use it in web dev, mobile dev, and every other Chrome extension of your choice. And why would you use TypeScript? Because it has types, not convinced, right? So let's go ahead and see why you should use TypeScript. So as we all know that JavaScript is very easy to type and everything, like I'm typing here. So you can declare anything as a variable just like that, and you can reassign it with something else like this, and JavaScript would be all fine to do that because it does not interfere with the user. So here you can see I have like console.log and manipulation.js. Okay, you can see that we have successfully changed the type here, and JavaScript does allow it to happen. Next, we would try to do something bit strange. So suppose you have an API. So let's say id from API equals 1, and this is ought to happen in many cases where your id would be a string, but it would look like a number, and then you would be having an locally declared id, suppose it is 1, and you would try to compare it. So let's console.log and id from API equals to id, and if you run this code, neither JavaScript shows you any error, neither when you compile it, it would give you any errors. It would throw false, that's it, but it wouldn't show you that you have created something wrong. So suppose if instead of console log, if you have an if condition, it would never go in this block, and whatever you have written in this code block wouldn't execute because these two values do not match. So these are some disadvantages of using JavaScript. So let's see how TypeScript solves these problems. So in first example, we see the first example we did with JS was like I had typed my name and I have tried to assign it with some number. So here you can see that TS does not allow it. So isn't it great? Like it shows you that the type number is not assignable to type string, and if you like proceed either way, it would not allow you to run that code because you have a type error here itself. Everything shows red that you cannot assign or manipulate the type. So this is a great thing, like at point of like assigning that this is wrong, and you can change it there and there itself. So let's move ahead and see some example from TypeScript. So like before, we are trying to get a API ID from an API, and we have declared an ID locally as well. And let's see what does TypeScript do this time. So you can clearly see that the comparison shows us that this is not possible, as you are trying to compare a string with a number, and that is not good. So it would clearly show you, if we write it as an if condition, it would not allow you to run this. It would allow you to run this, but it would show you that this is already going to be false. So you would already know that you are doing a wrong comparison here. So that's why I like TypeScript, as it would preemptively show you that what bugs you are going to get, and it wouldn't wait like JavaScript until you go to the runtime and see those bugs. So that's why TypeScript is great. So now we have seen the example. You would clearly state that TypeScript catches bugs earlier. It is well documented. It is shareable across people, so anyone who is reading your code knows what you have written and what types are assigned, so he doesn't get confused. And it is well documented, so it is not like that you can hover over any variable and it would show the exact types and what it does. Even if you hover over some function, it would show you that what is the return type and everything. And that's what makes TypeScript very great in these scenarios. So now we have explained why TypeScript is great, but why in 2024 Svelte just ditched TypeScript and used JSDoc? So if you are connected with the tech news, you would know that Svelte has recently from 2024 announced that they would transition to JSDoc instead of TypeScript. So why did they do that? So as we know that JSDoc is just an annotation to the JS, and it allows you to assign types in the comments itself, so you don't need to write the type separately. But do you think as a developer you should switch to JSDoc? So in my opinion, you don't need to, because JSDoc is a lot to write. It is very verbose. So for every line of code you write, you need to write extra lines of comments, and who likes to write extra comments? If you like, you can just switch to JSDoc. But what did Svelte do then? So why did they switch? As it seems that Svelte is a library and it needs extra compilation steps when you translate a TypeScript code back to JS and put it over a browser. So Svelte team was confused, and they were like, why we need an extra step to just compile TypeScript to JS and then browser? Can we shorten it down? So they chose to go with JSDoc, as it could better document things and also serves the purpose of not compiling the language again and again. But as a developers, you don't have those boundaries. So whether you are coding in Svelte, whether you're coding in React or Next.js or React Native, you can always use TypeScript and go forward with it, as you are compiling a website anyway, so that wouldn't make any performance benefits of switching to JSDoc. And that's my opinion. Like, you should not, if not switched already, switch to TypeScript and start using its amazing features. Thank you. This was the video, and if you liked it, please consider subscribing to this channel and leave in comment whatever are your opinions regarding this video. Thank you. Bye.